What is up, guys? This is our new podcast on Heartless Gamer's channel. I'm Sal. This is
Brian.
we decided to start a podcast, kind of geared towards a couple different things. One being gaming, news in gaming, different things happening in gaming. Our journey as starting our own competitive gaming community, what it's like, things that we've have been doing, business in general. I run my own business. I actually run two businesses between YouTube and then my own eBay business. So we'll talk about stuff like that and just like shit in general. Life, deep conversations. Who knows what the hell is going to happen during. We might have a script, but then completely go off of that because that's just how it works sometimes. But I think the first thing I think we're going to talk about is just like starting in general, just like what we've learned so far. I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about some of the things about our gaming community.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you?
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
So we founded Skate Gaming Community just a short, maybe about a month ago. And that's our competitive community where we mostly run some Call of Duty tournaments, that kind of thing. There's definitely been a lot of takeaways along the road from that. One of those being a big issue we had with the community we left to begin. We had some trouble getting logo work done. And then also just organizing it. It's hard to interact in a virtual world, which it seems like a lot of people are trying to get used to right now with the state of things and coronavirus and all that. But it's definitely been an adjustment to try to communicate with these people virtually and be able to count on them in a competitive setting when you really don't know a lot about these guys that, you just barely meet and recruit them into the community. I think that's probably been our biggest challenge, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the hardest things for us right now is trying to find people that are at least decent enough to where we can build them into, a face type caliber player. I think that's the hardest thing for us to do as leaders of a community, to find these people. And right now, I don't know that we have the best people, but I think they have potential. And
Yeah, I
if
think
they have growth, that's great. If they're people that are going to get stale, I mean, they can't be here. Because again, it's all about winning. I don't know what you want to. What do you have to say to that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think some of the couple of our newer recruits, I think they probably have the most talent in the house right now. And, obviously that makes us feel really happy that they're here with us. But besides that, we've got to also recognize that while not everyone's that, already competitive style pro league CDL player, there's a lot of people that do have that potential, and there's just adjustments we can help them make. And I think that's really our goal, is through these practices and communication, is let's see how we can make them better in 100 little ways versus just one big way.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about taking the small steps. They say that the biggest oak starts from an acorn, right? So a very small seed grows into this big ass tree. I mean, then it's no different than what we're trying to do is we're trying to take like the smallest of players, tweak the smallest of things, so we have this big goal that we want to accomplish. And I think that just happens in general. Like, take my YouTube channel, for instance, like, you got to make these small steps to make these small gains to get the big gains that you want, So, and that goes with anything in general. You can't just hope and wish that somebody's going to give it to you and it's going to happen overnight, because it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, you might have parts of it that happens overnight, and when I say overnight, I mean maybe a couple weeks, and it's quicker for some and it's longer for others, but you just got to take and give what you're given.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's life. It's small steps at a time. We didn't get to the moon just by fucking, sitting there in a day and building a rocket. It took months and months of small steps. And that just shows that in anything you do, you can follow that process. And so I think we're on the right track there. So how about you talk a little bit more about when you first got started with your YouTube channel?
So I've been on and off probably like the last 4 years, but I've been really more in depth in about the last 10 months to a year getting into it. Channel has grown like 300% in the last year. I mean, I think this time last year I was around like 500 subscribers, maybe. Yeah. I mean, actually probably less than that. I actually want to say it was closer to like 350 to 400. Like it wasn't, it was definitely 1,000 less. I want to say it was like 350 to 400. I think August is when I hit like 500 marks, 600 marks, somewhere around there. So it's definitely grown tremendously. I just hit 600,000 views on YouTube. You know, and I think it's interesting because a lot of people who are trying to get into that field aren't willing to put in the extra work it takes because they think it's a saturated market that it's not going to get anywhere or they're not going to get anywhere. It's really just a fucking mindset. That's all it is. You tell yourself that and that's who you become. If you tell yourself you're the best, you can become the best. If you tell yourself you suck, you will suck. I don't care how hard you try, you will suck. It's all about what you tell yourself. If you tell yourself you can be great, you can be great. Now, is it just going to be given to you? No, it's not going to be given to you. You're going to have to work for it. But there's a lot of sacrifice. I know, like this past week, I put out 3 or 4 videos, and we had a tournament, practice. I couldn't be at that because I had to put out this content because I knew, like, if I didn't put that out, I wouldn't pick up the trend. A lot of starting out is finding the right trends. And that I think that's the hardest part is to figure out like what game you're playing and what you think might be trending or what's going to trend. There's a lot of when it comes to YouTube, people think it's just throwing up a video. It's not just throwing up a video. It's trying to give the best content that will help your viewers, because if you help your viewers, they'll help you by subscribing. If you just throw a piece of content out there, and I've done it, you might get a lot of views, but they're not going to follow you because it's not quality work. You have to have quality work. I remember last year, it was like, this probably almost 2 years at this point. It was Call of Duty Black Ops 4 with like the raw map. It was like one of the first zombie maps. Yeah. I don't know if you're talking about.
Yeah.
So that was about before I actually got my mic. I actually got my mic the week after that. So I put out all those videos. The quality was awful. And, I had a lot of views, but I think I only maybe gained like 10 subscribers. Like it wasn't a lot at all from those views. And a lot of it was just because it wasn't good quality. Like people aren't going to follow you if you don't set high standards for yourself to get better in every video or do something different that people are going to like. You're not going to grow and you're not going to get better. That's the bottom line. Right. And I see a lot of people, and you're going to have people who just want to be Debbie Downers and tell you your videos suck because they're assholes. Like that happens. I had a guy, he commented, let me see if I can pull it up. But, you're going to have people who are always going to want to degrade your work because, one, they either are trying to achieve the same thing and want you to not be great, or they're jealous of what you're doing. His exact words, shut the fuck up, stay off my recommended lists. That's what he said to me. Well, I couldn't find that on YouTube because I'm assuming it was automatically removed for spam. I would tell him, thank you very much, and leave it at that. The reason I would do that is because if they're willing to put enough time to comment a negative review on your page, then that means they're jealous. They're either jealous of you, they want what you want, or they're not willing. They just want shit given to them, and they're feeding into you, right? Somebody's not going to comment or talk to you if they don't like you, right? They're not. If they want something for you or they want to feel some sort of attention, they're going to say something to degrade you because that's what they're going to do, right? I don't ever give a shit what other people think about me. I don't care, right? The reason I don't care is because that's everybody else's job to care about me, right? And not like care about me in the sense of like, you're doing a good job, but the opinions of others, right? That's their job to tell me that what I can't do. And it's my job to let that fuel my fire, right? So I let other people's negativity. If people don't like me, I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit. You don't like me, I don't give a fuck. I'm just going to use that to drive me to be a better person. That's what I do with that. There are people that I know that on Xbox, they've muted me for things that I've said, and I've said it because it was true, and they don't like it. That's not my fucking problem. If you don't like what I have to say, then you're just a self-sensitive piece of shit. All right, I'm sorry. That might feel extreme, but again, I don't care because people. I might not like certain people, and that's what it is. That's just what it is. You're not going to change it. It's hard to change somebody's mind, especially when they get older. It's very hard to change somebody's mindset. It has to do with bad habits and all kinds of stuff like that. But again,
especially someone from New Jersey.
Well, yeah, you're a Cowboys fan, so I don't really. I take things with grains of salt sometimes, what you say. But yeah, you just can't give a shit about other people's opinions because going at it for 2, 3, 4 years, you know, people, I've had good and bad comments. Now, there's a difference between a negative comment and a criticism comment. A criticism comment looks like, hey, you know, I don't think this is a very good video, but you could do this to improve, right? So maybe get a better mic, or hey, do better, have better thumbnails, right? Instead of saying your thumbnails fucking suck, you loser, stop making videos. That's just being a negative asshole, you know? So you got to understand when you're, and this goes for not just gaming in general, but any channel that you build with YouTube or even just social media in general, you're going to have those negative comments. You can't let who you are as a person stop you from achieving from what you want. So you don't just, my bottom line is like, look, you know, and not everything's going to be perfect starting out, and not everything's going to be perfect 5 years down the road. You're always learning. The algorithms are always changing on YouTube. Things in general, the platform of YouTube has changed over the last 10 years. And I mean, that's just any platform's changing in the last 10 years. Some didn't even exist 10 years ago. TikTok, Instagram, stuff like that. Actually, I think Instagram did exist 10 years ago, but TikTok didn't, Snapchat didn't, stuff like that. And they're always changing, right? Facebook's always changing, and they're, 15 years old now? 2004 or 5, somewhere around there. So they're always changing, and you just got to adapt to it. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. No, totally. I completely agree with you on those points. Hey, one thing I wanted to touch on real quick, since we were still talking about gaming a minute ago, I wanted to touch on that new COD update that's coming out in a few days. Hopefully you've seen it, so.
Yeah, I saw some of it in my workout. I didn't listen to much of it because my audio sometimes doesn't work when I'm watching two videos at the same time, so it doesn't overlap. But I did watch it. I saw something about a nuke. I don't know if they're hinting like you could launch it, or there's another step, or I know in Bunker 11 there's another door that has a red arrow and it says enter a code. I don't know if that's hinting something. There's a lot of unanswered questions. I think.
Yeah, I was seeing too that it looks like Captain Price is going to be a playable character, which, while the operators don't have any influence on the game, like, who doesn't want to be Captain Price?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be an interesting update. I don't know if with the bunkers, like, you have to do the first step of the bunker and then you have to do the second step to get inside. I think you just don't have enough time to go around the map twice. I really don't, especially in Warzone, because I know that's how I did my bunker part. I just don't know that you have enough time to do it at all. But I think it'll be interesting to see, and maybe they'll come out with a new game mode altogether where you have more time to do that stuff. I don't know. I'd like to see a private match Warzone, though. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, see, and I'd also like to see six-mans, because there's been a lot of rumors on that for a long time, but it's never come in.
Yeah, I mean, six-man
since
fun.
When Warzone dropped, everyone was saying, well, we're going to have six-man things. We're going to have six-mans, and, that never became a thing. We're going to have solos. That barely became a thing. Well, where's the duos? Those are still missing, too. One cool thing is that starting tomorrow, it looks like they're going to do double battle pass and double XP, including weapon XP, until the update drops on the 3rd, or until the season ends.
I think it's the 1st, isn't it? I thought.
Well, so season 4 starts on the 3rd.
Okay, so it'd be the
now
2nd.
Usually they're on a Tuesday update schedule, and they update about 1 o'clock Eastern, I believe, or 2 o'clock Eastern. Now, with that being said, that means the update could drop Tuesday, or if it follows last season, it wouldn't drop until the 9th.
Gotcha.
That would be when we saw the actual new content, even though the season might be over.
Gotcha. Yeah,
it really just depends, with this whole COVID thing, who knows?
Yeah, I can't wait to see what they offer, or the next trailer of Call of Duty. I mean, I think we're pretty much due for that pretty soon. Because you figure they come out in October, November time. So that's 4 or 5 months away.
Well, because I thought what was going to be the next one was going to be Black Ops 5. I know they remastered MW2, but that doesn't really count.
Yeah, I think Black Ops.
Oh yeah. So what I'm seeing on GameSpot is that it's Call of Duty Black Ops 5, or Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is what it looks like they might call it. And then it looks like we should see a game release coming soon, according to this. I mean,
I wouldn't mind a brand new Call of Duty altogether, as long as it's not fly your ass in the air like what was that, Advanced Warfare? That shit, I couldn't stand that shit where you'd fly in the air. It was like playing fucking Halo. But yeah, bottom line is I hope that there's a new Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And hopefully zombies. Zombies would be great.
So Black Ops 1, thinking about it, was set in the 1960s.
Yeah, it was
kind of like during the
Cold
Vietnam War.
or Vietnam. Yeah, it was Vietnam.
Yeah, it was the Vietnam War because you had those missions kind of throughout the Vietnam War. Now, with that being said, I believe the Cold War technically went all the way into like early 90s, 91 or 90.
Yeah.
In terms of historical value, no, there wasn't really any battles, but that could play out really interestingly. Maybe we'll see some returning characters.
Yeah, I mean, you figured Ronald Reagan and what the hell is the Russian leader? I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Gorbachev?
Yeah,
Gorbachev, right?
Yeah.
So, and that was what, late 80s? So, and that was about the end of the Cold War pretty much, right around there.
Right, because it ultimately culminated in the space race and then tearing down the wall. And it kind of all coincided for the most part.
That he actually had an interesting story how Ronald Reagan talked to Gorbachev. I don't know if you know about that, but it was something along the lines like he brought over children from America because Gorbachev liked children and like caring for children. So he actually brought children over from America to let Gorbachev care for them for I don't know how long or what he exactly did, but it was something like Ronald Reagan was like a straightforward guy, and like Gorbachev just didn't like him at first, and then like he kind of Ronald Reagan grew on him, and then he like kids came involved because Gorbachev loved hanging out with kids and stuff like that, and then like that's kind of how he got him to convince him to tear down the wall, So I don't know if you knew about that, but
yeah, it's pretty interesting. Did you know that Gorbachev? I believe he's still alive. Is he not? Because I know that he was publicly criticizing Putin a few years ago. I'm almost certain that he's still alive.
I don't know.
100% sure. Yeah, he's still alive. He was born in 1931, so would that make him about 90?
Malakia, however you say his name, Gorbachev?
Yeah, Gorbachev. It's Gorbachev.
He was only president for a year? His presidential term, March
in 15th? Office, 1990 to... Yeah, but he was also the general secretary of the Communist Party for like 6 years.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I mean, close enough. Right?
I mean, he still had a really long political career, and then once the Soviet Union kind of collapsed, it was just Russia at that point where he was. So it wasn't the USSR anymore.
Interesting. Eighth and last leader of the Soviet Union. Okay, so yeah, so it just turned into the Communist Party after that, I guess.
Yeah, all right. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting on that note.
There you go. We even touched on some history, man. Then that's what you're talking about, going off script.
Completely off script there. Completely off script. All right, I think that's it for this first episode. It was an interesting one, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad to take this opportunity and share some of what we're doing with everybody. Hopefully we get some good feedback from you guys. As of right now filming this, I wanted to let everybody know it's Thursday, May 28th, about 12:30 Eastern time. And so by the time you get this, it might be a couple days later, but we'll keep cranking these out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're going to have a set day yet. It may be like every Friday or every Monday kind of deal. I don't know how we haven't really hashed that out yet, but at least once a week, maybe twice if it like is really needs to be twice, but we'll see what happens, Yeah,
100%.
What it grows into. So, all right, guys. That's it.